Welcome back. So today we'll be taking the second part of build a Razor Pages CRUD web app, and in this part I'll be providing all the remaining CRUD functionalities of details, create, update and delete. So we'll carry over from the part 2 where we have listed all of the products in an asynchronous operation. So I will put it in the details in the part 1, and please review the part 1 before coming to part 2, which will help you understand the full context of the project. So over to the lecture today. Welcome again, and in this lecture we'll add a details page to display the details of a product, and the list of products we have already displayed in the previous lecture. Already. So let's flip over to Visual Studio. So now we have left this project over here where we are able to display a list of all the products like this. So this was the list of products, okay, with edit, details and delete navigation links. So at the moment all these links are there, but they are not functional. Okay, nothing will happen. So we'll we'll activate this link by giving a details page. So we'll stop the application, and what we will do is right click on the pages folder, click on add and a Razor page, and Razor page again using entity framework, and click on add, and I will name it a details or details page, you can write, and the template to select will be details. You can write details page, and the model class is the only model class that we are using is the product model and this product DB context, and click on add. Okay, now you can see the details page is already added for me, and this is the details page, the CS/HTML file, and let's inspect the code. All right, and let's first run this application and see the details page in action. This is in the routing details page, and if you run the application, click on details. Now it gets to the details page, and you can see edit and back to list. So if you click on edit, you can edit the product, but that will come in the next lecture. So, and this will take you back to the list because the index page is active. Index page is now already in action, as well as the details page. All right. So what I will suggest is that, rather than putting details page over here, you just keep it as it is, details. All right. But here /details page you need to write, because that is the routing. All right. So now let's jump over to understand the details page model, the code behind file and the CS/HTML file. So here a context object has been DI dependency injected to the details page model constructor, and a product public property has been created with a default value of null, but this default with a exclamation mark has been explained already. So this actually suppresses the warning that it cannot be a null value, but so although it is non-nullable, but it is it suppresses the warning, okay, even if it is null. So on get async, what it accepts an integer ID which is nullable, which is actually it should be non-nullable. All right, yeah, anyway, it is automatically created by the entity framework. So anyway, so if null check is done here, if ID equals null, so return not found, and otherwise the product is found by this lambda expression on the context object, context.products.first or default async m goes to m.id equals this supplied id in the argument. So the var, if the product is still null out of this assignment, it again returns not found, else the product, this public property is given this value of this product which has been written out of this expression, and then you get the page back through the details page.cshtml file. So coming back to the details page model in the CSHTML, the markup 5, let's understand this part of the markup. Right, so I will try to explain everything in detail, okay, item by item. Now DL class row, this sets up a definition list with the bootstrap class row, which is used for grid layout. And DT class column SM2, it represents a definition term or a label with a column width of 2 in the bootstrap's grid system. It is typically used to display the label for a specific property of the product. Alright, and then HTML.display for model goes to model.product.name. This is the Razor syntax for generating the display name for the name property of the product model. It's usually used to display the label associated with a property. And then DD class call SM10. And before that, this is display for also, this line is also there. So this Razor syntax generates the display value for the, this was the name of the property for the property name, and this is the display value. This is the display value for the name property of the product model. It's used to display the actual value of the property. Okay, and DD class call SM10, this represents a definition description with a column width of 10 in Bootstrap's grid system. It's used to display the value of a specific property of the product. So in summary, this markup creates a structured layout where each product detail such as name, manufacturer and price is displayed in a 2-column grid layout with labels on the left using DT and values on the right using DD. So that's about it. Hello and welcome everyone. In this lecture, we will show how to add a create Razor page to add a product or products. So flipping over to Visual Studio, this is my Razor product app so far. So we have seen the details page, how it details a particular item. Now we'll click on the pages model again to add a Razor page, which will be again using entity framework, because as I have previously stressed that using this template is the most versatile way of creating a Razor page. Although you can use the Razor page empty, but you have to write all the code which is unnecessary, because if you use entity framework, it will write all the code for you, and that is, you won't need any changes at all. So as you know that these days the trend is to go for less code as possible, and try to generate the code from even with the help of AI like ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, as I have introduced GitHub Copilot earlier. So you'll go for this entity framework, and this is the Razor page for create. So I will name it create page, keeping in the convention of naming them as details page. Now this is a create page, and template is of course create, and model class is again product model, and the database context class is the same. Click on add, and it will do this, all the scaffolding for you to create a create page. Okay, so you can add the new product. So now if you run the application, and before running the application, you must change this link to ASP page create page, because I am naming it create page. Okay, create new, and then you are able to run it. This part of the code, HTML.render partial async is a method in ASP.NET Core Razor pages that asynchronously renders the specified partial view, that is the validation scripts partial. Now here is a breakdown of its components. HTML is a property of the Razor view that provides access to HTML helper methods for rendering HTML content, and render partial async method is used to render a partial view asynchronously. A partial view is a reusable chunk of Razor markup that can be included in multiple views. And validation scripts partial, this is the name of that partial view to be rendered. In this case, it is likely contains scripts necessary for client-side validation, such as those for jQuery validation in ASP.NET Core applications. Now I have run the application, and you can see the create new page is there, and if you click on create new page, it gives you a form with the name, manufacturer and price. And if you click on anything, any product with the manufacturers or whatever, add that, give it a price, and that will be created. Okay, and you are able to get the details of this, and you can get back to the list. And in the next lecture, we'll actually go for being incorporating the ability to update the product. Okay. Now in this lecture, we'll add an edit Razor page to update an existing product. So let's get back to Visual Studio. And on the right clicking the pages, and then add again a Razor page. And here I would like to say that if you use the Razor pages using entity framework CRUD, this will create all the pages, create, retrieve, update, delete, as well as details page in one shot. So you don't have to repeat the process again and again. But I chose Razor page using entity framework because I needed to explain the code for each and every page in detail. So if I had chosen this template of generating the entire CRUD in one go, then it would have been a big lecture, or otherwise I would have to come back and create lectures for each of these operations separately. All right, so there is a reason choosing this template. Now click on add. This is now appropriately named as edit page, and it will be edit template. Click on add. Now the edit page is created for me. Edit.cshtml.cs, the code behind file for the edit layout page is this one, and it's the very familiar code again, like a create page model. This is a dependency injection of the product DB context object to the constructor, and then we are binding the property of which is named as product of type product with a default value, and on get async by passing the ID. If the ID is null, return not found. Again, the product is got through this lambda expression, await context.product.first or default async. M goes to m.id equals id, and if product is null, return not found, and otherwise product is given this value, and then return page. That is the get async. And on post async, you are asynchronously getting the page where you want to make the change. And once you have made the changes, then this part is, if the model state is not valid, then it will return the page. Otherwise, it will bring in this new code snippet, context.attach product.state entity state.modified. Instead of
it has got an enum value which is now telling it is modified. This entity is being tracked by the context and exists in database. It is modified, is got a value 3, entity state dot modified. Okay, so if you like to see unchanged, deleted, modified, added. So enum entity state. So value 3 is this one is modified. All right, and then redirect it to the index page, and product exists. So this product exists is it is a method, and it returns a boolean, and it takes the ID. So it returns the boolean value of this expression context dot product dot any. If it is existing, then if it doesn't exist, then it returns not found, else throw. This is actually in the catch block. Okay, DB update concurrency exception. This exception is thrown when the concurrency violation is encountered while saving to the database, and concurrency violation occurs when an unexpected number of rows are affected during the save. Okay, now the edit page.cshtml is very similar to the create page. It is a form is created, method post, and again the ASP validation summary is called into place, and input type hidden is which has got a ASP for attribute as product.id. Okay, so and again in a div which is got a class of form group, you've got label for the product name, and input this is text box for product name, and this is span for ASP validation, and similarly for the other properties of the product model, manufacturer as well as price. It is similar type of div elements are formed. And finally a submit button which has got a value of save or type submit. When you click on the save button, it will be saved after changing the particular item, after editing a particular item or updating a particular item, and then it will by clicking back to the list, it will take it to the index. And then this is the same thing that we have explained in the previous lecture for the create page. It renders, it calls the validation script partial, and it renders it the partial view. Okay, in this context, if you look into this mouse over, it says in this context render means the method writes its output using view context.writer. So render partial async renders HTML markup for the specified partial view. So that's about it. Now let us see this in operation. So if I want to edit any product, I need to change this to actually in my index.cshtml page, I need to make it edit page again. And then click the hot reload button. And then edit. You can write the product as, just change any of these items, and it will be changed. Okay. So now all we have to do to complete the CRUD operation is to add a delete razor page to delete an existing product with a particular ID. So let's flip over to Visual Studio and right click Pages, Add, Razor page using Entity Framework, click on Add. With the delete template, delete page, and same model class of product and the product DB context, and click on Add. So here is the delete page model, and what is notable here is to get async with passing a integer ID, nullable integer ID. If ID equals null, return not found. Otherwise, find the product with this expression, a very familiar expression we used earlier a couple of times. If the product is still null, return not found, else product equals product. And then on post async, when you want to click a particular item to delete it, then it will call if the product is not null, following this expression of finding the product asynchronously by passing the ID. If it is not null, then that product, the product which you have set over there in the public property, that will be assigned to this product value, which you have found with the calling the find async method and passing the ID, and then you call the built-in remove method and passing the product to remove it, and then asynchronously you save the changes to the context and then return to the index page, redirect to the index page. And then delete page, it's a simple CSHTML file is also quite simple. In the delete page, you are being prompted, are you sure you want to delete this? And if you say yes, then if you click on delete, what it does, it will call this code behind file to remove that particular item. And otherwise the form is formed very similar manner to earlier case. It's not a form, it is basically display name for product models name property, and for the manufacturer and the price properties, and name as well as the values of these properties. All right, and there is a form being called with the post method, and product ID is stored in a hidden input type, and then you call the submit button with the value of delete and a class of button danger, and on clicking the delete button it will be deleted, following the code in the code behind file. And let's see, everything is in action. Everything in action to delete a product. So bringing it here on this side of the screen, if you click on delete, again the same thing needed to be changed. Just on the index page you make it delete page. The navigation link is delete page. Save it, click on hot reload, it will allow you to make the changes online, and click on delete. Yes, this product name, manufacturer, price, if you want to delete, click on delete, and then it is deleted. If you want to delete this item, this will be also deleted. That's it.